Welcome back to the channel guys, and sorry about the whole week waiting for episode 7 uploaded. Been sick and really busy these past week, but I'm back and ready to continue on the weekly uploads of Bleach. Wow, just wow, Bleach has just not disappointed any of us fans this couple episode, and episode 7 was no different. This episode was pretty insane and was a lot to take in for us viewers. So with that being said, let's get straight into it, but before that, if you're currently watching the Bleach 1000-Year Blood War arc or a fan of Bleach, feel free to subscribe, leave a like and turn on that bell icon to be notified anytime I drop a new Bleach video. Like I said, this episode had a lot to take in and was just straight badass moments throughout. At the beginning of the episode we get to see Yhwach talking about how great the first 13 court guard captains were, and that they were just so sick and basically killing machines when the Quincy's fought them 1,000 years ago. We then get to see all of those 13 captains in action as we got the flashback, and of course, see a younger Yamamoto doing even more badass shit was definitely amazing to see. We even get to see a young Shunsui as we get a farewell moment for Yamamoto. We then go back to the present to see Yamamoto is cut in half, and his upper body slides off while his bottom remains standing. While he is already dead, Yamamoto refuses to let go of his sword, making Yhwach get even angrier and cuts of his hands, and then starts to say Yamamoto became weak, even since he wished to protect humans, and Yhwach just standing to brutally blast Yamamoto into absolutely nothingness. The Quincy's then bring in even more foot soldiers and start to destroy Soul Society and the Soul Reapers even more. This is when we get to see our boy Ichigo feeling the spiritual pressure of the Soul Reapers all disappearing, and this guy finally breaks out of the cage he was in, and boy oh boy, this is when things start to get really fired up. This guy Ichigo had everyone reacting to his arrival to Soul Society as his spiritual pressure was so crazy. This dude just went straight for the Sternritter, doing damage to the research lab and annihilated that Sternritter in one move. Ichigo in midair just disappeared and went straight to see Byakuya, and we see Byakuya talking to Ichigo and asking him for his help and for him to save Soul Society. Ichigo seeing how badly Byakuya is and him asking for his help, knowing the type of person he is, just made Ichigo fired up even more, and my guy's spiritual pressure was off the charts. This guy then went straight for Yhwach and the fight between those two began right away. This crazy animation when Ichigo meets Yhwach and starts to go straight for him was definitely something I wasn't expecting from Bleach, but definitely something I appreciate them for adding. So these guys are going at it, and although Ichigo is keeping up, we can clearly see Yhwach is winning the fight. Ichigo tries to use Jutsuga Tenshu, Yhwach comes straight to him, putting him straight on the ground and puts his sword to his neck. We then find out and make Yhwach find out as well that Ichigo is using the same abilities the Quincy's used to make their skin impenetrable, which is of course Blood Vein. Ichigo does his attack and finally ends up burning Yhwach's arms up a little bit. This is when Yhwach tries to cut up Ichigo's arms again and realized that he wasn't imagining Ichigo used Blood Vein. This is when Yhwach starts to explain why this is happening. Of course I'm not about to, so you need to really watch the episode to fully understand, but basically due to Ichigo being locked up in that cage made by that Quincy and Ichigo using up his spiritual pressure to break out, he end up taking in some of the Quincy spiritual pressure, which then dig in deep to awaken Ichigo's own Quincy powers. We even hear Yhwach mention Ichigo's mom, which had Ichigo even more confused about him being Quincy and what his mom has to do with this. This is when Yhwach tries to take out Ichigo and bring him back to turn him into a full Quincy and make him change sides, but his time being out of his hideout came to an end without him even noticing. This is when the Sternritter that was next to him tells him that his time is up, and it was all because of Aizen. He wasn't able to notice that before. So Yhwach heads back to his hideout with the rest of the Quincy army, but Ichigo of course wasn't having it and tried to attack Yhwach, but the Sternritter stopped him with no effort and destroyed his Zanpakuto, and the invasion was finally over. This was basically the episode, and I got to say pretty great and solid episode. Nice way to close off the first invasion, and this definitely was a nice start to the arc. This gave fans a taste of what's to come, and even the baddest moment of Yamamoto and learning the truth about Ichigo. This episode, like all the rest, was really animated well, especially when Ichigo arrived and started fighting Yhwach. That scene where we see through Byakuya perspective, Ichigo slowly walking away and disappearing, amazing scene. Of course, getting to see the first 13 court guard captains was definitely an extra topping to the episode, as we get to see how badass they were and how epic they looked. Fans definitely want more of those guys and I am totally with them on this one. I myself would love to see them in action some more. Of course the story in itself developed a bit, with Ichigo learning or finding out by Yhwach that he is a Quincy, and now he needs to learn about that part of him and more about his mom as well. Also with Yamamoto deaths, with him being a major side character and also holding a major title in Soul Society, definitely going to see the story take a different turn, as now we will need a new head captain, and I can't wait for that part to be revealed. And all the episode was really delivered well, with a great fight scene between Ichigo and Yhwach, and the music playing in that fight scene fitted perfectly. Bleach has really been in its bag lately, and I'm really enjoying every episode since the first episode. I know I don't have anything bad to say about this episode, a really well-delivered episode, and I can say with heart that there are probably not many people who have anything bad to say about this episode. This is why I'm proud to give this episode a solid rating of 9.1. Pretty good closure to the invasion and next episode, so really be the calming part, and where we get to see the outcome of certain characters, and how Soul Society will continue going forward from here. Thank you guys for watching, I hope you all enjoyed it. Leave a comment for any series you all think I should watch, and make a video on. Appreciate everyone, stay safe and continue going for your dreams and goals. Till next time, stay chillin'.